What's going on, everyone? It's Simon, and one of the things I've been doing to pass the time during COVID is organizing my gear closet, making sure it's all ready, getting things good to go. And during this process, I've realized that I have a lot of these little accessory bags, which it's something that everyone has. Everyone uses specific things for certain purposes, but no one ever talks about it. So we're gonna talk about it. I feel like accessory bags are the most used, least discussed thing when it comes to photography and filmmaking. Everyone's got a wide assortment of these, and I honestly think no single company makes a perfect bag. They all have different purposes, little different things that make them great, things that aren't as great. But quite frankly, I think every single company has bags that are made for a great purpose. Just depends on what that purpose is and what you need. And so I've got all of my different size accessory bags. I've got duplicates of some of these, but I wanted to kind of discuss why I picked up these bags, what I use them for, and all of that good stuff, just to give you guys an idea of what I'm using, how I'm using it, because quite frankly, I feel like it's something that we need to discuss more. And yeah. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go through this one company at a time and discuss individual companies, that what I've looked for in their bags and so on. And yeah, so we're gonna start it off at the top with Tenba, which I will clear this out a little bit, hang on. So I absolutely love these bags from Tenba. They are the Cable Duo 4 and the Cable Duo 8. And the thing I love about them is that they are two-sided. One side unzips completely open so I can easily access anything that's on that side, and the other side doesn't fully open, so I'm able to keep things that I don't necessarily need to be able to get into as easily, or like that kind of thing. So like bigger items that are going to be quick to pull out that I don't necessarily need to like sift through as easily. That go on that side. I use the Cable Duo 4 for my audio kit. Usually I would have my wireless lav pack in it along with my Zoom F1, and then spare batteries on this one side, which is the deeper side. I should also note that the side without the full round zipper is deeper than the other side. And then on the other side I have all of the little cables, spare batteries, the clips for the lav mics, microfiber cloth, all of those little bits that you need to have handy, but it's hard to keep them organized. This lets it so that way whenever I'm going out in the field and I know I need to get audio, I can just grab this whole thing and run out the door, call it a day. The other thing that I use the Tenba for is my GoPro stuff, and that's where the 8 comes in. On the deeper side of the 8, I keep my actual GoPro, all of the big harnesses, the float door, cables, and my chargers. And then on the smaller side, I keep all of the little different like mount options, so on and so forth, all the little adapters that are just more needing to be organized. And one of the things that I think is really cool about these is they actually have elastic on the shallower side. That way, if I wanted to, I could slip all of these into the Velcro or the elastic. I just don't do it because I honestly haven't been using my GoPro as much in the last about year and a half. It also helps that I have a GoPro Hero 4 Black, not any of the newer ones. I just found myself gravitating towards using my RX100 in situations that I would typically have gone for the GoPro. And that's because I have the full manual control of the RX100 versus the GoPro. And I haven't really been having to put things into as dangerous of situations as I did before. Next, we're gonna go with the Portabrace. Portabrace, I love this company because they're an American company. Everything's made in Vermont. I've actually gotten a chance to tour their old factory. I have not been to the new one. When I was driving to my parents' house a couple of years ago, and it was awesome. It's cool to see things still being made in the US. And these bags are fantastic. I love them because they have a little more padding than the normal accessory bags. They are just random little accessory bags that they had. I forget the exact name of like the model of them. But they are great because they have padding, so I can put things that are a little more fragile in it. A lot of times when I'm flying overseas, I'll take the glide cam head off, or the sled, and then I'll also take the weights and throw them into one of the bigger ones, and then throw this into my check bag. That way the sled is a little bit more protected. Even though it's really durable, it just gives it that little bit of extra protection. I also love putting like microphone cables and other things that I want to make sure are a little more protected in this. Comes in super handy. Usually I'm only carrying one type of a cable in a case, so it's great. So I don't have to worry about grabbing the right cable out because it's only one type of cable. That's the one downside to these ones, is that there's no way to really see inside it, so you've got to make sure that you've got it labeled or you know exactly what is in your case. But these are fantastic. I love the padding. I love the difference material. This one, they've got like this little like softer material, and then they've got the more like weatherized material as well. All three of these come in handy. Yeah. Next, I'm going to discuss probably the company that I have the most stuff from, which is Think Tank Photo. I've got multiples of most of these. I have their cable management line, which is the cable management 10, 20, and 30. And then I've got their computer adapter, or their computer bag. The Powerhouse Pro is the name of it. And I have bought all these over different times for different purposes. The Powerhouse Pro originally was purchased specifically because I needed something for all of my laptop like charger. I was carrying a mouse for a while, and I was also carrying a backpack. So I wanted something I could throw all of that, plus all of your dongles for the MacBook. Wanted to have all of that super handy. And so I, for a long time, was using it for that. Now I actually carry my NAR box in it, which is a fantastic little mini hard drive computer, field data backup device, and then I'll keep spare batteries, hard drives, and then some miscellaneous cables, and I'll also keep the USB-C adapter for my iPad Pro. That way I can plug in my regular headphones to the iPad Pro and be able to listen, because when I'm traveling overseas, I don't carry Bluetooth headphones normally. So it lets me do whatever I need to do, whether I'm working on the iPad or just watching a movie, that kind of thing. All of that pretty much lives in here now. It also has these two little zipper pockets on the back, which is fantastic for all those little cables. And then on the front also, there's like a divider that does Velcro open. It's super similar to the Cable Management 30 that has a similar divider. And the Cable Management 30, the biggest difference is obviously size. The Cable Management 30 has this little handle, which is super nice, and then a single pocket in the back. I, for a long time, would carry hard drives in these. I would also carry larger items in it. So when I was using a Zoom H4n and actual like microphone that I would have to hand someone, I would carry both of those in here with an XLR cable in the back. So that way I was able to just keep that all together. Comes in super handy. Love that thing. The Cable Management 20, again, slightly smaller, no divider inside, but has the little handle. I usually keep my video cables in this, so for the longest time I was using HDMI to HDMI, HDMI to mini HDMI, and then I was also having to carry HDMI to micro HDMI. This was back when I was using Nikon, and the D750 had the mini HDMI. I had just picked up the A7S II and needed the micro HDMI, and then had the FS5, which was HDMI to HDMI. So I was able to keep all of those cables for going to a monitor on camera. Super handy right here. The longest cable was like a 12-inch cable, so not long cables, but it let me keep all of that stuff organized and super handy there. It's also just a really versatile little bag. I've used this for like snacks and things as well. And then the Cable Management 10 is their little guy. I've got like 3 or 4 of these and I love them. Right now, this one specifically has my carry-on power setup. So what does that mean is I've got a small international adapter power outlet that also has USB ports. I've got the Narbox power adapter, and then I've got some USB plug-in battery chargers for the Insta360 One X and my Sony Z batteries. That with all of the necessary cabling just sits in here perfectly, and I'm able to just throw this into one of my checked bags or the one checked bag that I have if I'm fortunate enough for that. And it's just super small and again, keeps everything super organized, and all of my power is in one place. That is it for the think tank. Next up, Shimoda. All right, what I love about the Shimoda is that it's obnoxiously bright, and they're large and their small accessory pouches are perfect for specific needs that I had. One of the things that I was doing for a while was using a basically sheet of plastic that I had Velcroed all of my power stuff on. I ran into a situation where I couldn't use that because of the way that my bag situation was. So I needed something that I could put all of my grander power needs into and have it all protected. There's a little bit of padding in the outside, which is nice, but it's also got this like super visible back panel and this one side of the front panel, so you're easily able to see what is in it, but then at the same time when you open it up, not everything's gonna fall out immediately. Absolutely love that. The lid of this is divided into two little separate zipper pockets, so I've got iPhone lightning cables in one side and then USB-C micro cables in the other. Then in the big pouch, I've got all of the bigger power needs. I also carry the strap for this because it is big enough that it comes with a little carry strap, so you could like put some stuff in it that you want to carry over your shoulder. Comes in super handy. You never know when and where you're going to need that kind of a strap. But I've got my international power block, which is a surge protector, also has USB inputs, also has regular inputs. Got this bad boy on Amazon for like 20 bucks. Another Sony Z battery charger that's USB-C, and then my AA, AAA charger, along with the iPad charger, just so that way I can have two of everything when it comes to having USB-C and then USB micro charging capabilities. And that's really what I use this large one for, and it comes in super, super handy. I love it. The small one I use for all of my filters, and it's the perfect size to hold. I have 5 round filters and then 2 filter rings for the Breakthrough Photography magnet system. So here in the lid, I've got my rings which attach to my lenses for the magnet system. And then again, same concept as the large. You've got zippered pockets once you open this, so not everything's just gonna fly right out. And in the other one, I've got my variable ND and then my 4 magnet system ND filters. I've got a 3-stop, 6-stop, 10-stop, and circular polarizer. Comes in super handy. Yeah, or 0.3, 0.6, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Actually, I think it is 3-stop, 6-stop, 10-stop. And that just sits in here, and this can, again, go right into my backpack, and whenever I need filters, I can pull this out, have everything super handy and easily accessible, not trying to grab filter ring from one place, the variable ND from somewhere else, and so on. Just comes in super handy. Then, this was actually sent to me for free from Shimoda, just full disclosure. And I didn't know exactly what I was going to use it for. It was thrown in when I ordered some other stuff from them, and it turned out to be one of my absolute favorite things in a way that I had no idea. Basically what I use this for is all of my tools and those little accessory things that you know you're gonna need, but you don't have a good home for it. So like in the top, I've got spare anchors for my Peak Design straps. I've got little teeny pony clamps or A-clamps, because that way if I have to like clamp a piece of cloth together, that kind of thing. And then all of those little like thread adapters for like tripod plate screws, resizing through 1/4 20 to 3/8 16. Normally in this next pouch, I have a set of Allen wrenches, which I carry like the multi-tool type Allen set. Then down in the bottom, I've got a mini screwdriver that gives me like the 000, that kind of thing, for if you have one of those situations where you have to rip something apart that needs that small screw. I have it. The Allen keys come in super handy for like fixing tripods and that kind of stuff. And then I also keep a big chunky multi-tool that has pretty much anything else you could need on it. Bigger screwdriver, needle nose pliers. This is a SOG one. I love it, but it's big and heavy, so it doesn't necessarily work for me for my everyday carry. But when I need those extra tools that I don't have on my little Leatherman, it's super nice to have around. And it just folds up into this nice little neat little bit that I can throw this into my checked bag and not have to worry about it. But I've got all of the like essential tools handy for fixing pretty much anything while I'm out in the field. Next up, we've got this little Lowepro bag, which I got inside of a bag that I got for free at an event. And I didn't know exactly what I would use it for at first, but it's great because you have these adjustable little dividers inside. And I've actually found that this bag is perfect for the Sony NPF and BPU batteries. And it comes in super handy for them to lay flat. I'm able to organize it where I can have all of my charged batteries on one side, dead batteries on the other, and I can move it as the day goes if I need to keep my good and bad batteries separated. That's what I've been using this for, and I love it because I know exactly where the batteries that usually it's for my FS5 and the Atomos Shinobi, keep all of them together because that's usually a combo together, is that those two, which uses the same type, like similar batteries. Yeah, so that comes in handy there. Then I've got all of these random little assorted bags, which are fantastic for all sorts of little odds and ends things. This one specifically came with like a rock climbing harness, but I usually will put like a jacket or something inside this, or like a change of clothes, and then throw that into my bag. Especially if I'm flying, I always carry a full change of clothes on me. That way I'm not relying on the airline to get my checked bag there so that I have a change of clothes. Usually one of the first things I want to do after a lot of international travel is shower. Then I also will keep like hats and gloves in one of these. It just comes in super, super handy. I love it. It makes life easy. Yeah, so with that, that's all I got for you. Be sure to leave a comment down below if you have a specific bag that you're loving for accessories. Other than that, be sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell notification so you get notified when I upload my next great video. Other than that, have a great week. I'll see you guys next time.